Go.
Is happiness a joke?
Really?
Saif, if you could move this way.
I told you, direct your site.
Alright, so basically, we surveyed over 100 students. We just sent it out to, we took like the list of emails from a club, and we basically sent them out, so it was pretty random. Our questions included happiness rating, of course, which was from 1 to 10. Gender, their form, their study habits, their sleep habits, the sports that if they were a varsity player, varsity sports player, or how many hours they travel per week. And we got 87 participants, which is pretty good. And this is just the pie chart showing like the split between girls and boys. Obviously, you can see there's a lot more girls, which might have affected our data. We'll get into that later on.
Great. For sleep, we had a correlation coefficient of 0.348, which is a pretty good relationship. It was actually the strongest relationship that we found. Sleep deprivation contributes to happiness significantly. Lack of sleep is one of the top reasons for being in a sour mood. Exercise is also closely linked to happiness, and with an increase in sleep, people are more likely to work out and be active. So I think that was another contributing factor, I think.
Yeah, it's also a lot of people deal with stress through sleep, and if they get enough sleep, they're usually not as stressed out, which means they're happy.
Getting a break in co-ed was only a 0.065 correlation coefficient, which was significantly less than we had anticipated. However, doing further research, there is a correlation between sexual activity and happiness, so I was surprised we didn't get as strong of a correlation coefficient. I may contribute it to the fact that 66% of those we surveyed were girls, and maybe they're not, their minds aren't quite as fixated on that. Could be a contributing factor. A Dartmouth College economist, David Blanchflower and Andrew Oswald, report that sex, quote, enters so strongly and positively in happiness equations, increasing sexual activity from once a month to once a week is equivalent to the amount of happiness derived from $50,000 in additional income annually.
Yeah, that is good research.
Pretty well.
There you go.
In general, it's been shown that spending more time with the opposite sex increases serotonin levels, which we know has been proven to be linked to happiness. Alright, so this basically shows that there was a negative correlation between hours spent on homework and happiness. The correlation coefficient was negative 0.208, which is pretty strong. I mean, the other ones we've gotten for negative correlations weren't as strong, so we decided to use this. Hours spent on homework might lead to more stress because they're up later, they can't get as much sleep, which is also related. They spend less time socializing with friends, and that's also linked to happiness. So, as you can see, as the hours of homework goes up, happiness level goes up.
This is another negative correlation that we found with time spent traveling. So it was either taken between day students who travel a lot and also how many times athletes spent traveling to away games. We had a correlation coefficient of negative 0.018, and we thought maybe it could level happiness for time spent traveling. It could have been affected the sleep.
Alright, so this is our last slide. It's just a bar graph showing the average level of happiness in each form. We found it interesting that the fourth form is the highest. It's possibly because by then they're adjusted to the school and they have like their circle of friends, and it's not as much work as hours spent on homework as you have junior year, and not as much stress as the sixth form during like college process or whatever. But we also got only a few responses from the fourth form, and they're all generally happy, pretty happy. So that kind of skewed our
form was like a 5 out of 100. Is that what you got?
Yeah, no, it was, the fifth form was like,
Hey, Ron, go back to that slide, the last slide.
What percent happiness?
yeah, so, yeah, this one, I didn't actually make this, but,
It was like, remember how we did the class thing and it's that on the PR?
yeah, this one's kinda tough to explain, but,
It was like basically taking the averages of, so from all the amounts of the amount of people that we got for the third, fourth, each form, I took like the averages and that kind of,
we may have messed up the scales
Yeah.
a little.
So maybe something,
That
Probably
stuff-
out of 10.
Yeah, it was out of 10, but like, it looks like, it's a 9.
oh wait, but so, the fifth and sixth are out of 10, the third and fourth are out of 100 or something?
Maybe
That would
your
make sense.
fourth was supposed to be like an 83, and then or like an 8.3 or something like that, and Louvain has an 83.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And
Yeah,
6
'cause
is
Yeah, we
probably
made it.
not.
There was clearly some calculation error that converted it into decimal place, moved it into, a different range.
So what's the lesson learned?
Double check your data.
So lesson learned is double check your data. If you have, 100 or 1,000 data points, eventually double checking your data gets to be difficult, but so why should they have double checked this data especially?
It looks weird.
It looks weird, yeah, so if you see something that looks really strange, that should kind of be a hint to you that you might wanna go back and really investigate and make sure it's all sound. Overall good, go back to your scattered plots, nicely done, except for one thing that I didn't like so much about them. Either way, we're gonna see the negative correlation, but here they're relating hours spent on homework to happiness. They got a bunch of good data, added that trend line, but
Happiness should be on the Y.
so I prefer happiness around the vertical axis because in theory we're saying what depends on what, Hillary?
happiness depends on hours for alcohol.
Yeah, so the dependent variable we like to put on the vertical axis just by convention. So happiness depends on all these independent variables. But so that was not the best, but go up to your first slide. So this first slide was really good. I think this is something that you guys will probably do. I think we'll do one or maybe two more presentations before the term's done. And just in general, when you're giving these presentations, things like this, it's a nice introduction giving us the outline here. Instead of just saying we survey Choate students on happiness, they go over the questions which some other groups did, but they also say we surveyed 100 students and then I assume that 87 participants means that those are the amount of people that replied. Yeah, but so just information about the actual details of your survey. That's good for your audience to know before you go into detailing the results. So, well done there. Nice pie chart. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, good. Overall, I think you guys did a nice job with these.